Good evening. Today's session is about operating systems. To learn AWS and DevOps. To learn AWS and DevOps, normally Linux is prerequisite. Linux operating system is prerequisite. So uh, without having basic knowledge on Linux, we cannot learn AWS. Like at least we should be aware of creating files, popping files, creating directories. Some basic commands we should be aware of in Linux OS. First 1 week, I will teach you complete Linux operating system, how to launch Linux machine, how to create files, directories, file system hierarchy in Linux operating system will be learning. Once we are good at Linux, then I'll start AWS course. So this today's session is about operating systems. How many types of operating systems we have? Any idea? Like what are the different types of operating systems? Not sure? Okay. So,
There are a lot of them actually. So if you say mainframe, we have JetOS, we have MVS, we have Linux, we have Unix, and what else we have? We have Windows, and we have DOS, basic
right,
DOS. Yeah. So yeah,
right. Let me tell you, we have only two operating systems. Whatever you said, that is correct. But we have only two operating systems. One of the operating systems is Windows operating system. Windows operating system is developed by Microsoft company. This Microsoft has started Windows OS. The source code of Windows operating system. Source code means what? The programs which are written to develop Windows operating system, that is confidential. Only Microsoft employees, they can see. If you want to install Windows operating system in your computer or laptop, you need to purchase the license, genuine license from Windows, from Microsoft company, like around 1500, 2000 rupees will be there. So these are the different versions from Windows operating system. Windows 98 version, Windows XP version, Vista version 7, 8, 8.1, 10, and recently Windows 11 version. All these versions are uh, came from Microsoft company. In Windows, we have different types of versions. So the core operating system is Windows, but these are different types of versions. This is the one of the operating systems, Windows. And the second operating system is Unix. The other operating system is Unix operating system. The source code of Unix operating system is open. Source code means the programs, the code which is written to develop Unix operating system, that is open for everyone. Since Unix is open source, anybody can install Unix for free of cost. You no need to purchase. You can see the source code also. Since the source code is open, then one person, his name is Linus Torvald. He took the source code of Unix. On top of that code changes, on top of that source code, he added his own code changes. He added some modifications, and then he named that operating system as Linux operating system. Basically, Linux operating system is originated from Unix only. Like both looks almost similar. Linux is like a child, Unix is like parent. Linux is originated from Unix. 90% of the Linux operating system is Unix only. Just minor 10% changes he modified, and he named that OS as Linux operating system. So not only this Linux Torvald, even IBM company also took the source code of Unix, and on top of that, they added their flavors. Then they named that operating system as IBM AIX operating system. HP company, also took the source code and they added their own flavors. Then they have named that operating system as HP UX operating system. And we all are familiar with Apple company, right? When Apple company also took Unix source code and they added their code changes, then they named it as Mac operating system. And the one more company called Sun Microsystems, they also added their changes and they named it as Solaris operating system. So these operating systems are originated from Unix. They did not develop from scratch. Like Mac OS is not developed from by Apple company from scratch. They took the base OS as Unix. On top of that, they added their changes. Then they named it as Mac operating system. Out of these operating systems, except Linux operating system, like IBM AIX, HP UX, Mac operating system, Solaris, these 4 operating systems, if you want to install in your laptop, you need to purchase the license. You need to pay the money to IBM company or HP or Apple Sun Microsystems to get the genuine license. But Linux is not like that. Linux is an open source. It's like Unix. This person, Linus Torvald, has kept the Linux operating system source code as open. So anybody can install Linux in their laptops for free of cost. It is an open source. Since Linux is also open source, again, people started taking the Linux code. Amazon company also took the source code and they added their flavors. Then they named it as Amazon Linux operating system. So Amazon Linux is originated from Linux. Linux is originated from Unix. So it is like a grandchild of Unix. Not only Amazon company. Here I have kept some the data, like 80% of the Amazon Linux is belonging to Unix, 10% Linux changes. On top of the 10% minor changes added by Amazon company, and overall they call it as Amazon Linux operating system. And a Red Hat company also, they added their flavors on top of Linux code changes. Then they named it as RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux Operating System. And a community people, a group of people together, they have developed this operating system from Linux. They took the source code of Linux and they named it as CentOS, Community Enterprise Operating System. Ubuntu operating system also originated from Linux. Debian also originated from Linux. SUSE also originated from Linux. Like Kali operating system also originated from Linux. Like these all operating systems or the flavors of Linux, and the left side is a flavor of Unix. So overall, the main operating system, the core operating system is Unix. All these are flavors of Unix. Any doubts till here? Akshay?
No, Arvind, good.
Okay. Next, architecture. We'll understand the differences between Windows operating system architecture and Linux operating system architecture. In Windows operating systems, I have a hardware, nothing but a new computer or a new laptop. I have a laptop or a computer. In this laptop, I want to install one operating system called Windows 10 or Windows 11. So I have installed Windows 10 operating system. Once you install Windows 10 or Windows 7 or Windows, whatever Windows operating system, once you install, on top of that, you can see one shell screen. Shell screen is nothing but a command prompt. Command prompt. If you click Windows logo plus R button, and if you type CMD, you can see the black screen command prompt. So this shell screen will be also available. On top of shell, we have the GUI, graphical user interface. You know, right? GUI means Windows operating system has GUI, like the console. You can see options, buttons, everything. See, even the Mac also here. You can see all these options, keynote, file edit, the different options we are able to see. Okay, so this is like, so this is like GUI, whatever we are seeing here. So all these options, time, it is called graphical user interface. So even in Windows operating system also, we have hardware on top of that OS, on top of that shell, on top of that GUI, graphical user interface. If user wants to give inputs, like if he wants to create any file or if he wants to create any folder, he should give input on top of GUI. Then if like users will basically interact with GUI and they can do the activities like whatever he want to do. He can create files, he can create folders, he can open the files, whatever he wants to do, everything he will interact with GUI only. But coming to Linux architecture, here also we have hardware. On top of that, we install kernel. Kernel is nothing but operating system. But in Linux terminology, we call as kernel. In Windows terminology, we call as operating system. But both are same. Kernel is also nothing but operating system. Once we install Linux operating system, nothing but kernel. On top of that, we can see shell. Shell is nothing but the shell screen. In Linux operating system, we don't have GUI, so the users has to interact with the shell screen. If you want to interact with shell screen, obviously we need to execute the commands. Only with the help of commands only we can interact. So without that shell screen, you cannot interact. If you want, I can. Anyone listening this class in laptop, Windows laptop?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Vijay, if possible, can you share your screen? If it is your personal laptop or computer. Not possible, someone else, other side.
Not possible actually.
Okay, no worries. Who is ready to share the
I
screen?
just logged in through online. Yeah.
Okay. No, I just want to show you the shell screen. Mine is Mac, right? So
It's a command level, right?
yes. Command prompt. If you are aware of, no worries. No one is listening from laptop?
Yeah, can I share my screen?
Yes, Priya. Okay. See, this is whatever she is sharing the screen. This is GUI console. In Windows operating system, if you want to create any file, Priya, can you go to desktop? See, if you want to create any file, just do right click, new,
You.
new folder to create a folder. Fifth option, any
Okay, new. You're
yes,
saying new.
yes. Folder, click on folder, enter. That's it. Yes, okay, give any name if you want to give any name. So here you have interacted with the GUI and you have created one folder, right? You
Yeah.
did execute any command, you just did right click. Just by looking into the options, you have created a folder. But in Linux operating system, we cannot interact with the GUI because Linux doesn't have any GUI. Here, command prompt means, can you click on Windows logo and R, Windows R,
Okay.
command prompt, open command prompt, yes. Type CMD, not that, CMD, open. This is shell screen. Right now, you are in which path means in C drive, under C drive, users, your name, I think, 42
Yeah.
GB, right? So that is
Yeah.
your current folder. For example, if you want to create a folder from shell screen, yes, you can create. This from shell screen also you can create. Can you type CD space desktop, DESKTOP? I think it is capital D. Let's see. Enter. It's capital D. CD space capital D. Press. What is your name? LS, ULS, just type LS.
Okay, actually, my system is client-based.
Okay, no worries. Can you type mkdir?
MKDI, make directory.
Yes, yes. Give any name, test or something, space, give it some name, enter. Now, can you go to this C drive users your folder from the console? C drive, users, your name, the fourth one. In this folder, we have created a folder called Priya just now. See the date, October 22nd, 8:20 p.m. Yes or no?
Yeah,
So whether we created the folder from shell screen or GUI,
shell screen.
we have created this folder from shell screen. So earlier we have created a folder
From
new
GUI.
using GUI, like by interacting with GUI. What is the
Yeah.
difference between these two?
Like GUI is more user-friendly,
Yes,
and this
GUI
is
is
more like
looking into the options.
we need to know the
Interacting with
commands
shell
and all.
commands, correct. You need to execute the, if you don't know the command mkdir, you cannot work with this shell screen also, right?
Yeah.
You can stop sharing screen now. Understood, Akshay and Vijay? I hope you are already aware of
Yes.
it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I know you are already aware of it. So
Okay.
this is what I want to explain here. In Windows operating system, basically we interact with GUI, but in Linux operating system, we interact with shell. That's why people learn Linux operating system. People learn Linux by joining some institute, Linux administration course. But people won't learn Windows operating system by joining into some institutes. The reason? GUI is present in Windows, so it is very user friendly. In Linux, you need to interact with shell screen only with the commands. So this is the difference between Windows and Linux architecture. Okay, next. Advantages of Linux. It is an open source, free of cost. Anybody can download it, and anybody can install Linux in operating system for free. And it is a lightweight operating system. Lightweight means it occupies very less storage. In Windows, you purchased a new laptop, you installed Windows 10 operating system. It will occupy at least 18 GB storage for installing your Windows 10 operating system or Windows 11. Around 18 GB to 20 GB it will utilize. But if you install Linux operating system in the same laptop, it occupies around 1.8 GB to 2 GB. The main reason is why Windows is taking more storage, while Linux is taking less storage means in Windows we have GUI, graphical user interface, where in Linux we don't have. Simple example, if you download a 4K video song, it may take 50 MB because more picture clarity. If you download normal audio song, same song, but MP3 file, no video, just audio song, it will be around 3 MB, 4 MB. But same song with video song means with 4K clarity, 50 MB. So that's why Windows operating system taking more storage, Linux is taking less storage. That's why we call it as lightweight. And the performance is also very fast compared to Windows. If you switch on your Windows laptop, within 1 second it will not open the desktop. Once you click on the Windows power button, it will load. After 5 to 10 seconds only you can see the screen. Or will you see immediately within 1 second after clicking the power button? Windows.
No, it takes some time.
It takes some time. If you did not notice, after the session you check. Windows will take some time, at least minimum 3 to 5 seconds. Minimum it will take. But Linux operating system, performance wise, it is very fast compared to Windows because of very less storage of operating system. If your operating system is very less, the performance will be more fast. And security wise also, compared to Windows operating system, Linux is more secured. Hackers can attack Windows operating system. They can hack some applications or resources which are running in Windows, but they cannot hack Linux operating system, because normally working with Linux only difficult. If you want to hack in Linux OS also, that will be very, very difficult. It doesn't need any antivirus programs to install here. The reason, See, in Windows operating system, I have downloaded something like Chrome software. I have downloaded. Once I download the software, along with Chrome software, virus also came into my laptop. Slowly, that virus will spread across all other softwares, like not only Chrome. That virus will be attacked to MS Word. Virus will be spread to the PDF documents, Notepad. Your system will become slow, like because of virus. What you need to do, you need to install antivirus program and you need to remove that virus. Otherwise, you need to uninstall your entire operating system and freshly you need to install. But in Linux operating system, same example, you have downloaded Chrome. Along with Chrome, you got virus. This virus will not spread across all other softwares. This virus will be remain with Chrome only. So in this case, you no need to uninstall operating system or you no need to uninstall all, you no need to install antivirus. If you just uninstall this Chrome, your virus will be gone. From your computer, the virus will be gone. No need to install antivirus also. So these are the advantages of Linux operating system. Next, coming to differences, some main differences. In Windows operating system, we call the main user as administrator. Administrator is like the owner of the laptop. While you set up your operating system, once you purchase the laptop, you will set up credentials, set up time, date, name, everything. That user will be the administrator. In Linux operating system, we call him as root user. Whereas in Windows, we call them as administrator. In Windows, we call folders, like creating folder, like deleting folder. But in Linux operating system, any idea what do we call?
Directory.
Make
Correct.
directory.
Correct. We call it as directory. Here we call softwares like install putty software, install Chrome software. Like we use the terminology software. In Linux, we call them as package. Like install this package, uninstall that package. Like we usually call packages. Here we use backward slash and here we use forward slash for separating the paths. Okay, this like backward slash here is we are using forward slash. Any doubts in this slide? Any questions till here? Okay, next. File system hierarchy. This is very, very important. Main. In Windows operating system, once you install your operating system, once the setup is completed, we can see the main thing. The first part is C drive. If you want to do partitions, you can do D drive or E drive, but by default, you will be having only C drive. Inside C drive, Priya, can you share your screen once again?
Yeah, off. Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes, it's visible. So here, now, yes. So this is Windows C drive. Okay. Can you click on Windows C once again? Once. Just click on go to C drive.
Okay.
Yes, this one. Yes, this is the like main. If you can you click on this PC once. Okay, this is like the top level one. This is like Prime Minister of India. So in India, the top position is Prime Minister. Okay, after PM only. Under PM, we can you see my writings?
Yeah, yes.
This is the hierarchy. For each state, we have again in this state we have like MLAs. Again here also we have MLAs. This is the hierarchy politically. Like this is the first level, second level CM, third level MLS, like this. Okay. Now coming to here in our Windows operating system, C drive is at like top level, like Prime Minister. Once you go to C drive, can you click on C drive? These are like chief ministers again. Inside C drive, we have separate different folders. Like by default, we have some folders like user folder, Windows folder, program files x86, perflogs. These are the default folders. Again, if you go under users, again you will have different folders again. So this is the hierarchy. Under C, we have users. Again, if you go under users, let me type C. This is C. Under C, users, program files. Again, under users, app data, default user one, public, like this. So this is the hierarchy in Windows operating system. In Windows operating system, the top level directory is C drive. Now you can stop sharing your screen. Coming to Linux operating system. How we have C drive in Windows. In Linux operating system, we have top level root. This is a root directory. / this is called a root directory. Okay, this root directory has again subdirectories. What are they? They are again root directory, home directory. Again, inside home directory, we have EC2 user directory. We have etc directory under top level root. We have USR directory, boot directory, bin directory, sbin directory, and many more. I did not mention all the directories, but these some of them I have mentioned like root, home, etc, USR. If the / we call it as root directory, and the below one also we call as root directory, but the top level one is represented symbolically as a / the subdirectory is represented with alphabetically. If you want to differentiate, normally we call both as root only, but if you want to differentiate, you can call it as top level root so that people can understand easily. Okay, top level root is / the top roots. Okay. Now, what are all these directories? Root directory is, this is the directory where root user is present. This is the directory where normal users are present. In a simple way, if this is a building, this building is having like 3 portions. In this portion, owner will stay. In this portion, like tenants. In this portion also tenants. So this portion is for owner, ground floor. In the first floor, tenants, 2 portions, tenants are staying. Just like that, this is owner portion. In this directory, who will stay? Root user. In Windows, we call administrator. In Linux, we call root user. Root user means who? He is the like main user. He's like owner of the operating system. He will have all the privileges. He can install any package. He can uninstall any package. He can update the package. Whatever he want to do, he can do because he will have all the privileges, permissions. Coming to this normal users. Normal users won't have all permissions. They cannot install the packages. They cannot uninstall the packages. They have some limitations. Just like tenants. The tenants cannot do the paintings of the building. They cannot break the walls because they're not the owners. They have certain limitations. They should not do all the things. Just like that, here normal users will also have some restrictions. They cannot install everything or uninstall. So these type of normal users are present under home directory. Root user is under root directory. And etc directory. This directory is where we store all the configuration files. Configuration files are present here. And this directory is where we store, by default, the packages are installed here. In Windows operating system, if you install anything, let's say you have installed PDF, you downloaded PDF and installed PDF. By default, this software will be installed under C drive, Windows, program files. So this is the default path where the softwares are installed, PDF. Like that, USR is also a directory. If you install any package, by default, that will be installed under USR directory. Boot directory means all the, yes, tell me.
These are the default directories or
Default. We don't create them. Like in Windows, under C drive, you saw perf logs, program files, x86
yeah,
users. We did not create them. We have them by default, right?
yeah. So
Similar.
like the same way in Linux, what are all the default directories?
Yeah, whatever you are seeing in the screen, like top level root, home, etc, usr, boot, bin, sbin, ec to user, and some thousands of files are there, defaults.
Okay.
I'll show you. You are not going to create these are available by default only. Around 1 lakh files are there by default. Around 14,000 directories are there by default. Even in your Windows also, if you go to program files by default, many things. If you go to users, again subdirectories, some hundreds of folders are present in your Windows also. Right. So this directory contains all bootable files. This directory contains Linux commands, and this directory also contains Linux commands configured. Out of all these, you forget everything. You no need to remember all this. Just focus on these three. What is this? This is a top level root. It is like first level. Inside this top level root, we have subdirectories. And what is the purpose of root directory? This root directory is where root user will present. This is like home for root user. This is home for normal users. If you remember these two things, that is sufficient. Any doubts in file system hierarchy? Vijay, Akshay, Priya.
No, Arvind.
No, we are okay.
Okay. Right. So this is the file system hierarchy. Now I have given you just the brief idea what is Linux operating system. To learn the Linux commands, we have to launch a Linux machine. We have to launch a Linux server. But to launch a Linux machine, we need to launch a Linux server, right? This Linux server I will launch from AWS cloud. So to launch this Linux machine from AWS cloud, we need to create AWS account first of all. If we are ready with AWS account, if we create AWS account, in AWS we have many services, plenty of services, around 200 plus services are there. Out of 200 plus services, which service is used for launching virtual machines? Means EC2 service. This service is used. EC2 means Elastic Compute Cloud. So this service is used for launching virtual machines. Not only Linux server, you can launch Linux machine, Red Hat machine, CentOS, Ubuntu, Debian, Windows, Mac, any kind of server you can launch. Basically, this service is used for launching virtual machines. Used for launching virtual machines. So our requirement is to launch Linux machine. Why? Because we want to learn Linux commands. We need to practice Linux commands. That's why we will launch Linux machine. After launching Linux machine, we can start practicing Linux commands. Is it clear?
Yes.
So, like in next class, in tomorrow's class, session will be about creating AWS account. Tomorrow I'll explain you how to create AWS account. And in AWS account, like what are the different types of services are available. And in AWS account, like how the billings will be generated and how to contact to customer support of AWS and what are the different types of regions available in AWS. I'll give you complete overview how AWS account is created, how to interact with AWS, what are like different options, everything I'll explain you. Like I will give you an idea of AWS account. Once you are good at AWS account, like you'll understand what are the different types of options, how to interact with them. Then in day after tomorrow's class, I will show you how to launch Linux machine. How to launch Linux machine from EC2 service using EC2 service in AWS cloud. So after launching Linux machine, then we start practicing Linux commands. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Because Linux is very, very important. Even if, see, I can tell you in 2-3 classes only, but that will not help you because this foundation should be very, very strong. If you're very good at Linux, you can understand the things very easily. That's the reason. Though the commands are very, very simple, it will take some time for you to remember them because by practicing only you can remember. Just by looking into my class, just by listening to the commands, whatever I'm typing here, you cannot remember. You will understand, but if I ask you, you will not answer me. If you practice them only, you can remember. So that's why I'll teach you this basics very, very strong. Then we will jump into AWS. That's all for today. If you have any questions in today's class, you can ask me now. Any questions? Okay then. Thank
Have like file systems where you have shown many things, right? After root level. So user boot bin where we can see in Linux, like how it going to use in
I'll show you practically after launching this Linux machine. So in tomorrow's class, we'll create AWS account. Then like many steps. Directly, I
Okay.
cannot go to this class now itself.
Yeah, okay, sure.
I've given you just a theoretical idea. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll show you each and everything practically, whatever you are asking me. Even you don't ask me also, I'll show you.
Okay.
What about you, Vijay? Any questions?
No questions from my side.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Everyone.